Hello, beauties. It is Olivia Grace, and welcome back to the Master Manifestors channel or group, depending on where you're catching this from. I am coming live because God told me to come live today and talk to you guys about God, and I titled this the way that I did because I can only speak from my experience. And becoming burnt out with manifesting is what led me to God. And I want to come on because for me, I resisted learning about God and knowing God because of my experience with religion. And just, I just like my view of God, my perspective of God, and the religious view and perspective of God is vastly different. And so because religion kind of like when you hear people talking about God, it's usually a religious person. It's not in the manifesting community. It's more the universe, it's source energy, it's these things, but it doesn't really make room for a connection with that. Or this is how I felt. It was more like, if I'm doing the right things, if my energy is right, then I can manifest these things through the God within me, through this God energy that is everywhere. But I had no connection to that God energy. I didn't feel cared for or loved, or like that God energy had any positive feeling for me other than what I was directing it to do. And like that's true to an extent. I mean, it's really not true, but it appears like that because we're manifesting our reality. So even for instance, if you believe in a vengeful God, or a God that is punishing you, your life is going to reflect that back because your beliefs are creating your reality, right? Now, really what I came on to tell you guys is to seek God for yourself. Aside from religion, aside from books, aside from videos, aside from all the teachers, aside from all the gurus, aside from all of these things, seek God for yourself. And I know in the Law of Assumption community, God has talked about a lot, even in not so much in the manifesting, in Law of Assumption, because Neville teaches manifestation kind of from this viewpoint of God. But again, it's more like, okay, let me connect with God within me so that I can manifest this money. I can manifest this SP. And so the intention is not really pure, and it's not negative. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to do those things, because everything that we're doing is perfect because it's leading us exactly where we're supposed to be at, no matter where you're at, no matter who you are, no matter what you've done or what you will do or won't do. We're all going according to what it's supposed to happen. The unfolding is just going to unfold regardless, right? But for you have the choice of how you experience that. That's what free will is. You have the choice to choose the way that you express the God within you. No way is wrong, because God chose to do this, chose to incarnate and express as us, as this planet, as all of these things, as this universe, to experience love and not love, and coming back to love, to experience failure and triumph, and to experience all of these things, because God knows that at the end of the day, we're all coming back to God. So it's not as painful, I would say. And I can't say that because I don't know exactly what God feels. But anyways, my best friend asked me, how I got to this. She just asked me, like, how do you know anything that you know? Everything that we know comes from what someone else has told us. And when we know what we know now about manifesting, about how our thoughts, our beliefs, our assumptions, our feelings are shaping reality, but we're basically taking from what everyone else has already shaped. We're taking from their interpretation of God, their interpretation of, whatever religion, or even manifesting. Because every teacher that you listen to has a different experience, has a different thing that works for them, some things are easier for them, some things are harder for them. Basically, everybody's experience is individual. But when it comes to really getting to know God, it is imperative for you to connect with God yourself, to really know, what does that mean for you? And I'm still teaching manifesting. I'm still manifesting, although it doesn't have my full attention right now. And when you really start connecting with God, it doesn't need your full attention, because things just flow the way that they're supposed to flow. The things that you need enter your life. Like, everything just kind of works out. It's kind of like when Abraham Hicks talks about being in the vortex. Everything just kind of works out on its own accord, because you already have, God has heard you all these times. God always hears you. All the things that you're wanting, they already are. Creation is finished. It's about really what it's about, because I've been asking God and talking with God and channeling with God about, how do I take what I'm learning now and apply it to manifesting? Because that, from the beginning, is what they've told me they want me to do, is to merge these two worlds of God and manifestation. And when I asked them, how do I bridge that? Like, how do I do that? What would you tell me how to manifest? What's the best way? And they said, direction and faith, intention and faith. That's it. God told me this week, stop desiring, stop trying to manifest, stop, trying to make things happen. Instead, know it's done and be thankful. Now, when people talk about gratitude and manifestation, and yes, there is, obviously, it's important to be grateful for what you have, right? For the things that you already have, because that alone will raise your vibration. But when you really start to practice gratitude for the things that have not manifested into your 3D reality yet, it's literally a completely different experience. It's a completely different experience. You're in the doneness, because it's one thing to think about it or visualize it, but truthfully, if the thing that you want so bad was to happen today, you would be grateful, you would be thankful, you would be happy, you would be expressing that thanks or that excitement. And so when you do that, you're immediately moving into the wish fulfilled, but that's another topic. Basically, you guys, seek God for yourself. And because there's something going on, and I don't know if you guys have seen it too, but there are a lot of people that are going from, New Age to Christianity, or from Christianity to New Age, or, people seeking God or whatever. It's something going on, and I've seen it happening, and it's happening to me. But the difference for me and what I feel is that God is not bound by religion. God is not bound by New Age. God is not bound by any of these things on this earth that people have created. Okay? God is beyond all of that. God is, He created all of that. And God is within you. Jesus is the representation of God awakened in man. Jesus is the representation of the potential that we have as people, because God is within us. People look at Jesus as, this figure, but he's an example of what we can be, what we can do, the miracles that we can perform, the miracle that we can be, the magic that we have inside of us. So it's not about, and the thing is, guys, when you're seeking God, maybe it will lead you to religion. Maybe it will lead you to, New Age. Maybe it will lead you to whatever it leads you to, but seek that connection. And that's what God really wanted me to come on and talk to you guys about, is to seek that individually and just see what happens. If you're already a Christian, then, you already love God. So seek what you feel about. Pray with your open intention and your open heart, beyond what the preacher is saying or whatever is saying. If you're, a law of assumption person, or, manifestation person, or law of attraction, seek God beyond what everybody in the book says. Seek God beyond what Neville says. Seek God beyond what Abraham says. Seek God beyond what, whoever, Joe Dispenza, all these people. It's nothing wrong with studying that, because for me, especially as a teacher, I make it a point to study these things. This is why I know so much about manifestation, because I literally dedicate so much time to understanding and to hearing this teacher's perspective and this person's experience and also implementing it in my own life. So there's nothing wrong with studying and learning. Learning is my favorite thing to do, but have your own opinion, have your own connection, and just see what happens. Because you guys, it's been changing my life. I've been kind of, I guess I've been on this journey since day one, but I've been connecting with God now for about 3 months, and my inner life has changed so much. I was already a really happy and really feeling kind of liberated, obviously still things I wanted, still things I was striving for, but I was already a pretty happy person. But what I feel now is it's beyond words. There's no words. And I hesitate to talk to you guys about this. I'm not going to lie, because I don't want to put people off. I know how, for me, when I came across Neville and I saw that he interpreted the Bible, which I'm going to start probably doing, interpreting scripture the way that Neville interpreted the Bible, but doing it the way that Olivia interprets it. If you guys are interested, well, I'm going to do it anyway. But when I found that out about Neville, although I could see that Neville was clearly like onto some shit, like I was like, yeah, I'm going to read all this stuff except for the parts about the Bible. So I know how that resistance is to religion, and the resistance is to, the Bible, and, all of these things. But I'm just telling you guys, number one, God is not contained in just that. You can seek God outside of that. But when you do, you'll just see for yourself. In whatever way that's the best for you, you will see for yourself. So I intend that helps you. I intend that makes sense. And, I don't know, like when I make these videos talking about, God and connecting, it's not as, people don't really care that much. And it's okay. It's okay, because it's the 1 or 2 or 3 people that do care and that do need to hear this and that are looking for something more, that will hear this and that it will lead them on this beautiful journey that I've been on. That's who this is for. So I love you guys, and I'll be back with more videos soon.